here. Oh, you've done a good job of your clock too, Green. That's very nice. It is good. Is that 3:00? Did you do these lines on here? You did a good job of that. Well, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah. You got a new student, Mrs.
Yeah, are we allowed to visit during class?
Yeah.
When the teacher's talking, are you allowed to visit?
No.
No. Some are saying yes.
Yeah, that's my daughter's thing.
Goblins don't play video games. Is that a good book? Did you finish it already?
Thank you very, very much for the warm welcome, and thank you to the grade 3-4 class that Grant goes to, because that's where we kind of snuck in there first. And Grant came and visited the legislature with his grandparents, right? And you came to the office that I'm in. It's not really my office. It's an office that the premier gets to be in until your parents have had enough of wherever the premier is, and then someone else gets to try that out. But I think you got to sit in my chair, isn't that right? Well, in the chair that I get to sit in. So what I did when I went over to the 3-4 classes, I asked if I could sit in his chair, and then we sat there and had a visit for a while. So thanks to that grade 3-4 class, and thanks to all of you for the warm welcome. So, how many of you are driving your own cars home tonight, you kids? How many are driving your own cars? You're driving your own car. How many? Is that right? Well, you're not driving with your parents. How many are actually driving their own car? Hands up. How many may be making that part up? Why aren't some of those kids driving their own car, do you think? Why are none of the kids here yet driving their own car? Over there in the red t-shirt, right there, bud. Yeah, that's you. They're not old enough. How old do you have to be? 16. Or if you're driving with your parents, you can be 15. Who made up that rule? Why can't you guys drive your own car? Oh, yeah. That's right. That's another example. That's another example of what Mrs. Growdy and Mr. Canifor were talking about. But you know, I'll tell you that there's more than just the three of us that are a part of that, are a part of representing you and your parents down in Regina, and the government are making up, hopefully, rules that make sense. There's actually 58. I'm going to get Mrs. Growdy to help me out a little bit here. She brought this map, and maybe we'll pass it around. It kind of fits with all the flags and all the decorations, which, by the way, are great. Thanks very much. Here is a map of, there's a map of the province of Saskatchewan. And if you got real close, you can see there are these little areas, little red areas. And if you look really close in the big cities like Regina and Saskatoon, you'd see a bunch of little tiny areas in there. And if you added up all these areas, you get to 58. They're called constituencies. There's 58 regions that Saskatchewan's been divided into. We picked those areas, all of us together, to make sure that everyone has the same amount of representation, that the same amount of population lives in all of these areas, give or take. That's an approximate thing, but it's true. So there's 58 of these, and every 4 years, there's a contest. Does anybody know what the contest is called? To pick who gets to represent those areas. Right here in the purple hoodie or bunny hug, depending on which part of the province you're from. What? An election. That's what happens. It happens every 4 years. Your parents, and someday you will be able to vote. You'll be able to pick. Mark a piece of paper that says, for my area, this area, we're right now in Melfort constituency. June's is, show us your area. There's June's area there. And I'm the MLA for Swift Current. I get that job before I get any other job, like this other great job I have. So every 4 years, your parents and soon you will be able to pick from a number of people, women and men, who would like to represent you in Regina and make rules and hopefully do the right thing for the province. That's the election. And since there's 58 of them, whoever has the most, the majority of the 58, that team, that group, that party gets to form the government until 4 years later when that group can be asked to change.